In 1837, Hong Xiuquan, fresh off another exam failure, collapses into a fever dream where an old man and a middle-aged guy hand him a sword and say, "Go smash the demons." First, let's set the stage. Here's the world our story unfolds in, around 1853, with Nanjing right at the heart of it. He wakes up, convinced he's the younger brother of Jesus. His family thinks the exam fried his brain. But Hong? He's got a new career path, divine revolution. Hong starts preaching that he's on a mission from God. His first followers? A few villagers who think he's either crazy or onto something. Spoiler, it's both. Hong Xiuquan and Feng Yinshan set up shop in Guangxi, 1847. Their pitch? Join us, and God will fix your taxes. Spoiler, God never fixes taxes. The peasants are hooked. Why? Because Hong promises them land, food, and a God who hates the Qing as much as they do. That's a triple threat. Word spreads faster than a rumor in a tea house. The God Worshippers Society balloons from a handful of weirdos to thousands of angry, hopeful, God-fearing peasants. And here's Nanjing up close, where our story really plays out. Now the big move, the road from Jintian village to Nanjing. The big day arrives, January 11th, 1851. Hong Xiuquan climbs a hastily built platform in Jintian village, ready to declare a new kingdom. With a red flag in hand, Hong declares the Taiping Heavenly Kingdom. His followers cheer so loud, the pigs in Guangxi probably think it's dinner time. The 20,000-strong army, mostly farmers with hoes and homemade spears, is officially a rebel force. The Qing dynasty just got a very bad Yelp review. The Taiping army rolls into Yong'an, and the city gates swing open like a tavern welcoming a thirsty mob. Free drinks? No. Free salvation? Absolutely. Hong Xiuquan climbs the city wall, plants the Taiping banner, and declares Yong'an the new capital. The flag flaps proudly, like a yard sale sign announcing everything must go. Inside the city, Hong Xiuquan is crowned Heavenly King with a makeshift crown. Yang Xiuqing gets Eastern King, basically a participation trophy, but he's thrilled. The Qing have Yong'an surrounded tighter than a drum. Hong Xiuquan looks at his generals. Someone's going to have to get creative. The plan, a midnight breakout with women and children in the middle. The Taiping army bursts out like a startled cat, claws first. The Qing, caught napping, scramble to respond. It's a mess of torches, shouting, and very confused soldiers. The Taiping slip through, but not without cost. The Taiping army, now 500,000 strong, rolls into Hunan like a bad rumor. Cities surrender faster than a cat avoids a bath. They reach Wuchang in January 1853. The city walls look tough, but the Taiping have a new trick. They simply ask nicely. It works. Now, dear viewer, they do something no one expected. They build a fleet. Thousands of boats, from fishing skiffs to river junks, all with one goal, sail to Nanjing. The fleet moves like a floating city, but the river current is no joke. They tack and row, shout and curse, but the Yangtze is a highway, and they're taking it. By March 1853, they see it. Nanjing, the second city of the empire, glittering like a prize. The Taiping cheer, their promised land is in sight. March 19th, 1853. The Taiping army hits Nanjing's gates like a battering ram at a frat party. The Manchu garrison barely has time to scream, "Oh no." Streets turn into a chaotic game of tag, with the Taiping in the lead. The Manchu garrison is caught napping. Literally, some are still in pajamas. By nightfall, the city is theirs. Hong Xiuquan struts in, ready to redecorate, starting with a name. Welcome to Tianjin, the heavenly capital. May 1853. The Taiping aren't done. They point north and yell, "Beijing, we're coming for you." Cue a cavalry charge. But the Qing are not amused. They throw everything at the Taiping, cavalry, infantry, and a whole lot of not on my watch. The north turns into a grinder. By 1855, the northern expedition is a cautionary tale. Lin Fengxiang is captured, and the Taiping dream of Beijing dies in a muddy field. Meanwhile, back in Nanjing, Hong Xiuquan hears the news. He doesn't cry. He just orders another palace wing built. Priorities. By 1856, Yang Xiuqing thinks he's the star of the show. He even claims God speaks through him. Conveniently, God keeps telling him to boss everyone around. Hong Xiuquan, never one for sharing the spotlight, gives Wei Chonghui a wink. That wink means, handle it. Wei's eyes light up like a kid with a new toy, a very bloody toy. In the dead of night, Wei Chonghui's soldiers surround Yang's palace. They don't knock. They bust in like it's a surprise party, except the surprise is a massacre. Yang Xiuqing, the man who heard God's voice, now hears the sound of his own empire collapsing. He's captured, and Wei doesn't even give him a trial, just a one-way ticket to the afterlife. But Wei doesn't stop at one. Oh no, he's got a quota. Thousands of Yang's followers are rounded up, and the streets of Nanjing run red, not with wine, but with the cost of ambition. Dakai, the Wing King, looks at the blood-soaked streets of Tianjin and thinks, nope, not my circus anymore. He packs his army and rides. As Shi's army marches away, the remaining Taiping leaders in Tianjin realize they've just lost their best general and their last shred of common sense. Zeng Guofan, a Confucian scholar who once failed his exams, now reviews his new Hunan army. He's traded his calligraphy brush for a rifle. But Zeng isn't just handing out guns. He's recruiting local gentry, wealthy landowners who hate the Taiping more than they hate taxes. And he trains them hard. No more lazy, undisciplined mobs. These soldiers drill day and night until they can shoot straight and march in step. 1860. Shanghai, a city of merchants and missionaries, is about to get the most American solution to a Chinese civil war, a hired gun with a drill manual. Ward's plan is simple. Hire local Chinese soldiers, put them in Western uniforms, and teach them to shoot straight. The Taiping are about to meet the world's first extra help. The ever-victorious army is born. With a name like that, they'd better win, or at least not lose embarrassingly. But first, Ward needs to prove his worth. The Taiping are at the gates of Shanghai, and the city's rich merchants are praying their investment pays off. The ever-victorious army wins its first battle, a skirmish so one-sided it's almost a joke. The Taiping flee, and Ward's reputation skyrockets. Li Xiuqing, the loyal king, marches on Shanghai with 10,000 men. He's heard about this ever-victorious army. He assumes it's a marketing gimmick. Shanghai's defenders see the dust cloud and panic. But Ward's ever-victorious army just cracks their knuckles and says, finally, a real workout. The Taiping charge with banners flying. Ward's men hold fire until they're close enough to see the whites of their eyes, then open up with a volley that sounds like a thunderclap. Li Xiuqing's men break and run. He's not used to losing. He yells at his retreating troops, "Get back here. I have a reputation to maintain." The Taiping retreat, but they're not done. Li Xiuqing rallies his men with a speech about honor and vengeance. The ever-victorious army just reloads and yawns. Rengan bursts into the throne room, clutching a scroll of reforms. He's about to modernize a kingdom, but first, he needs the boss's blessing. Rengan lists his ideas: schools, banks, and factories. Hong Xiuquan nods slowly, but his eyes glaze over. He's thinking about divine visions, not dividends. But the war's a hungry beast, eating every reform before it can sprout. Rengan's grand plan gets filed under when we have time, which is never. September 1861. Anqing. After months of siege, the city finally cracks. Zeng Guofan's troops pour through the breach, and the Taiping defenders know the jig is up. The Taiping garrison, starved and outnumbered, puts up a last desperate fight. But it's like a kitten hissing at a tank. Overwhelming force wins the day. The Qing flag rises over Anqing. The city is theirs. But for the Taiping, this is a gut punch. Their lifeline to the outside world is now a Qing highway. Ward is dead, shot in a skirmish. leaving the ever-victorious army without a leader. Enter Charles George Gordon, a British officer with a map, a plan, and a very stiff upper lip. Gordon's first act: drill the troops until they can load a rifle blindfolded. The soldiers grumble. This isn't the British army, it's a bunch of mercenaries and adventurers. But Gordon is a man on a mission to prove that British discipline can beat Taiping numbers. He leads his men into battle with the confidence of a man who's never been shot at. The big prize, Suzhou, a city so well defended it's practically a fortress with a do not enter sign. Gordon studies the walls like a chess grandmaster. Suzhou surrenders, and Li Xiuqing's generals trust the Qing's promise of safe passage. Big mistake. Huge. The Qing have a different plan, a banquet. But the wine is just a prop for the real course, execution. The prisoners are bound and kneeling in the courtyard. The Qing officer raises his sword. Gordon arrives just in time to see the horror. Gordon is livid. He storms off, resigning his command in protest. The ever-victorious army just lost its lucky charm. Inside, the Taiping capital slowly starves. Rats become the new menu item, and the people start eyeing their shoes with serious intent. But the Heavenly King, Hong Xiuquan, has a divine solution: prayer. Because nothing says, "I've got this," like trusting the Almighty to outsiege a guy with cannons. The blockade tightens. Disease sweeps through the city like an uninvited party guest, and famine turns the streets into a horror show of hollow cheeks. Hong Xiuquan, ever the optimist, declares that God will provide. Spoiler: God's delivery service is on strike. The siege has lasted 2 years, and Tianjin's walls are finally cracking. The Qing army, led by Zeng Guofan, tastes victory. The Qing soldiers pour through the breach like ants at a picnic, and Tianjin, the heavenly capital, is overrun. Chaos reigns in the streets. In the chaos, the Qing find Hong Xiuquan's body, dead since June, but still causing trouble. They cremate him, just to be sure. Li Xiuqing, the loyal king, sits in a cold Qing cell, writing his confession. The pen feels heavier than any sword. He spills every Taiping's secret onto the scroll, hoping the Qing might spare his people. Spoiler: they won't. On August 7th, the Qing decide loyalty is overrated. Li Xiuqing is tortured, then executed, a hero's end for a losing cause. The guns fall silent. The smoke clears, and 20 million souls are gone, a number so big it just sounds like a math problem. The Qing dynasty survives, but it's like a boxer who won the fight and then immediately fell into a coma. The knockout blow is coming. With the central government weak, regional warlords like Zeng Guofan and Li Hongzhang become the new power players. They're the real winners of this mess. Meanwhile, the foreigners move in like polite vultures at a feast. "Oh, you're weak now? Mind if we just take a few ports?"